Hello, welcome to this mini-sode of The Wand and Crown. I'm Hayley. Keeley is somewhere around here, and on this week's mini-sode, I don't know. That's what we're planning, but we're talking about one of Keeley's favorite topics. So really, who knows? So we're going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights. But not just regular Halloween Horror Nights, because we've done that before. That's old. That's cliche. We don't need to talk about it ever again. We will.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just do our hype list at some point. Okay.
We will. Don't worry. This week's episode is about the Behind the Screams tours that Universal Studios offers every year. And I'm going to hand it over to Keeley because this is her baby. This is her jam.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so last year was actually the first year I ever did it, and I'm like sad that I hadn't done it previously because it's so fun. They even tout it as like a way of like if you want to do Halloween Horror Nights, but you don't want like the scared part, dark, the actors, all that, do it. Also, if you're a really big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, do it. It's really cool. So it's like two sides of the spectrum. Either you're really into it or like you just want to get your feet wet. Like I feel like you get both of those people that go on the tour. I'm sad we haven't done it in the past. For us, it'll probably be like a staple every year now because it's so cool. So basically there's what?
Tell us what it is.
I'm getting there. So there's two different types. So you have the 3-house tour and the 6-house tour. So 3-house tour, you get to tour 3 of the houses. They're typically always original. So it's the ones that they created themselves, their own storylines, whatever.
Yep.
If you do the 6-house tour, you'll usually get, I think, 3 IPs and 3 originals. Okay. So if there's IPs that you're really excited about, do the 6-house tour because that's going to guarantee more so that you could get one of those. Mm-hmm. They don't announce it. It was after we bought our tickets. They're on sale right now. They usually release at the same time as regular Halloween Horror Nights tickets. So you can buy them early. Like I'm going to do it no matter what. I don't care what the houses are. Last year was Grave of Flesh, which was, I think, like one of my, like, number 8 house or something. But I still loved it. Like I was
disappointing house.
What?
My most disappointing house.
I knew it was going to be bad. I told you that. But doing the Behind the Screams tour made me appreciate it a little bit more. It made me appreciate everything more. I also am really into set design. Like if I could not like redo my life, but like I think that would be like doing set design, especially like Halloween Horror Nights, that truly I think would be like dream job for me. 100,000%. That is like, that would be it. So I really, and like I didn't grow up a theater kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up a theater kid. I went to school for fashion design. See, yeah, and that's not the acting part of it's not me, but like the set design, the costumes, that I love that part. So anyway, so you get to tour either 3 or 6 of the houses. Prices we just looked up, they have jumped up from last year. I think they were $89 last year. Now it's $99 for 3-house tours, and then 6-house tours $209. The bump in price, I mean, obviously you're getting double the houses with the 6-house tour, but you also get a buffet lunch included.
Okay. So the tours themselves, it's daytime tours.
Oh, yeah.
Houses. Okay.
Morning. Yeah. Like, I think ours, do you remember what time ours was? It was early. I think it was at like
8 or 9.
We did like 8:30.
Yeah, it was very early.
Which we did that on purpose because we left that night.
Yeah. Sorry. That would have been perfectly fine if we had stuck with our usual plan of doing one night of Halloween Horror Nights, and that first night had been fine, but we ended up going a second night and staying up late the second night. So that would have been a perfect plan.
And not only
had a really late night.
Well, it would have. Well, it was fine, but the problem was we were at the end of our room, or the end of our hallway in Terra Nova, or stuff,
wherever we were.
Terra Luna. Jeez, Terra Luna. And the HVAC unit was so loud I couldn't hear my alarm over top of it.
Oh my
God.
God.
So we overslept a little bit. Yes. And then because we were so far away, we were at the Epic Resorts. It took us 20 some minutes to get a bus. Like we got there, I was apologizing profusely. Like I explained to them, they're like, it's okay. They're like, your tour group's still here. They waited like 5 minutes for you. Like not a big deal. So it ended up being fine. but yeah, like this time we might do like a 9 or 10 o'clock one, like just go a little bit later. And then because we had APs too, when we got done, like everybody, okay, and that's another thing I want to add. You don't need park admission, because you go in and it's where, so you remember where customer service is when you walk into studios to the right. You go in there and you meet your tour guide. They confirm everything, like they scanned our APs, they saw that. We went on the tour. You're with a VIP. Typically it's a VIP tour guide that does like the RIP tours or does the regular VIP tours. That's who you're with. His name was Kendall. I literally just remember that. He was so great. He's been doing it, I think he said, for like 15 or 20 years. Like he's into it, which makes it more exciting.
Very fun.
So, but anyway, so you go through, so anybody who didn't have daytime admission, they walked out with him. He escorted them back to the front of the park and they left. So you don't have to buy a separate ticket. He was like, he saw RIPs and he's like, all right, see you guys, like just left us in Springfield so we could walk around. So that's another thing too, is you don't have to buy a daytime ticket if you just want to go do this. So it's like Halloween Horror Nights. You just need to take it for the
through the normal park, or is it like a backstage tour of the houses?
Yes and no. So the ones that are on the soundstage behind Blue Man Group, we actually, because they were in the midst of tearing down Rip Ride Rocket when we were there. Normally you just walk under it. I mean, as you know, with the houses, it was all a mess. So we did see a little bit backstage there, and they're in the sound studio. So like that's normal backstage area. So like we couldn't take videos or anything, mostly of the construction I guess demolition of Rip Ride Rocket, because again they hadn't started on anything yet. So we couldn't take videos there. Once we were where like the lines are, that's fine. So there we saw backstage, and then we did walk through most of the normal parks, and we need to get back to where Hatchet and Chains was, which is all the way back by Men in Black.
Yeah.
So we did like.
So it's kind of a mix. It's like, don't wander off from the group, but
yeah, no, because and so funny story about that. I think I told you, I think I was texting you guys when this happened. So there was a girl, we took a break. So you know where the freestyle, little hut, inside, by Men in Black. So we took a break there for like 15 minutes. Bathrooms are right there, drinks, all that. It wasn't too hot. It was fine, but we just took a little bit of a break. We went to Dolls, and one of the girls in our group was like, hey, I left my phone back at like the bathrooms or something. Can I go get it? And he's like, we can, but like I have to take all of you with me. Like I can't just leave you guys, and I can't, because we were in the house. Like it's not like we were outside. We were backstage. We were in a house. Like all of that's a no zone. Like he can't just leave us, but he couldn't let her go. So finally he called one of his leads and was like, can you like escort her? So he's like, just step outside of the house, please wait right out front. She did not. She went and got her phone and then started walking around backstage taking pictures, and she got escorted off the tour. What happened after that, I don't know, but she did what you were not supposed to do, and she got kicked off the tour and met up with us at the end.
I don't see.
There's cameras everywhere. There's people walking around. Why? Like, did you think you were going to be caught?
Of getting like a permaban.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, standing here, please, dear God, do not.
Right. It was strange. So they are really strict with when you're backstage.
Yeah, but you're guided. So okay, got it.
Yes. Yeah. So like it's still cool because you still get to see like it's just like a mix. It's a cool mix. And like we just get to go on like, again, like kind of separate entrances, or like you're not standing in the line, and like I don't know, it's just cool. And like
I was mostly wondering because like a lot of the Disney behind the scenes tours, if it's that mixed like backstage area versus like there's some backstage but some that's actually in the park, you have to have a ticket. So it's interesting that Universal is like, no, but if you leave, we're gonna.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's kind of the same as Halloween Horror Nights. You get like, it's just like its own
little areas attraction.
Yeah, because you're with someone the whole time, and then once you're not with them anymore, you have to leave if you don't have a daytime ticket. Whereas Disney, they can't.
daytime ticket or
Yeah. They want to get that money out of you. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. I think it lasted 3 hours,
Okay.
2 hours. I think it was like 45 minutes per house, maybe. But it was really cool. It wasn't tiring at all. It wasn't like, oh my God, are we done yet? And again, someone who loves it, I was not, oh, I keep doing that with my hoodie string. It was not like, I never was like, oh my God, please stop talking. Like everything he was saying, I was just like, so cool. Like it was really fun. So the 3 houses we did so this was in 25. So for HHN 34, it was Hatchet and Chains,
Yeah.
Dolls, Let's Play Dead, and Grave of Flesh. So Hatchet and Chains actually bumped up in like I think I even talked about it when we did like our ranking episode. Yeah, I was like, I can't let that sway that I think it was better now that I got to see it, but like I did, because I'm like, it just is. It just seeing it, and that would be my like I talked to Cody about it before this morning when we were like, let's record. I think my recommendation would be to do it after the fact, like do Halloween Horror Nights and then do the tour, because if you do the tour first, you're not going to enjoy the house for what it is.
That makes sense because
You're
you know all the things that are coming.
and
You've walked through it.
So not only that, because that's what Cody said too. My thing is I would be trying to see everything and trying to point out to everybody, did you know that's doing that and that's doing that and that? That's what I would be doing. Or like, oh, did you know like how that worked? Like,
Did you know
I
that with
just,
that helmet he actually broke his toe? That kind of vibe.
exactly. That would be me. Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I think it's good to do it after the fact because it leaves that full element of surprise when you're walking through the house. And then like again, like you said, we did it like the next morning because we did Hatchet and Change that second unexpected night that we had. And then the next morning we did Hatchet and Change. So it was still kind of fresh in my mind. I mean, we had gone 2 nights previous anyway.
Yeah.
But I could kind of like remember, and I'd watch walkthroughs and everything. So, and you can do that afterwards too if you need to like connect it to what you saw.
I wonder I was gonna say, I wonder if it would be interesting to do it, you know, actual Halloween Horror Nights first and then do Behind the Screams and then do another Halloween Horror Nights.
Because I'm insane, I'm considering that for us since we're doing 2 nights. Cody will probably tell me no, rightfully so, but I don't know. I haven't bought our tickets yet, so I don't know. I gotta see what we're feeling because that's kind of what I thought. I was like, we could do a mix. And by that point too, like they'll have announced what the houses are. You'll get an email too once you buy your ticket. Once they announce what the houses are, you'll get an email with like the oh, I spit my tongue. They'll tell you what houses and like they're subject to change and all that, blah blah blah. Typically they don't, but they
So
might.
you can buy these tickets now,
Mhm.
like when Halloween Horror Nights releases,
Regular tickets release.
uh, without knowing what the houses are. But you can also do it after you know what houses are going to be toured.
Yeah, it can sell out because again, at the end of the day, it still technically is a tour, so like there are limited spots, but it's not like a VIP or RIP tour. It's not express. It's not something that's directly tied to the event itself like that.
So if
So
houses really matter to you,
for me,
you're
no.
okay with the no, I'm saying like if
Oh, yeah.
the houses really matter to you and you're
Wait.
okay with the chance of possibly not getting it, then you wait until it's closer to actual Halloween Horror Nights when they announce which houses are going to be the ones toured and then buy the tickets. But if you just want to be like, hey, vibes, I want to see all the things.
I just want to see
then,
whatever crumbs you give me, I'll take.
yeah, better to buy it sooner. I can't remember. Are these aren't dynamic pricing?
They are.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the other thing. The sooner that you buy them, the better it's
I
going.
think all Universal ticket prices are dynamic.
I just remember if the tours were as well. But I guess, yeah, because
I don't know.
they sell out, then that means that more people want to do it. So
Yeah, because like this one's starting at $9.99, $99.99, whatever, $100. Starts at $100. But like Saturday was like 120, Sunday was 110. So days are different and they might change pricing. Halloween Horror Nights tickets, like the event tickets, those are dynamic for sure. I've already seen people complaining. And I'm like, buy your ticket. If you want that price, buy your ticket when they come out. Ours haven't changed yet, but they might. But like, I'm like, I haven't bought it yet. So like, that's me. That's my fault.
Yeah, we're doing that with the full knowledge that the
Yeah, like we're like, okay, yep, we should have just bought then when we saw that price. Oh well, we're still going.
So what kinds of things do they show you on? I mean, like obviously you got to walk through, but like what kinds of things are people going to learn?
So, okay, so they'll talk about, I literally have a list. Okay. So, oh, one other thing I did want to mention too, now that I'm back on my list, sorry to that, they do give you a little like hearing thing. So it's like a
Oh,
museum tour.
yeah.
Yeah. So you'll hear
Like
your tour guide in that.
when I did the behind the seats, huh?
Oh, yep. Yep. Yep.
People
Exactly. Yeah. Same exact thing, which is
like they do in Lizzie McGuire movie.
yes, exactly like that. So yeah, so they do that and you get a special lanyard and it's a whole thing. Okay, so
I'm so sorry, I'm distracting. Do you get to
yes, stop talking. God, Haley, it's all about me right now.
do you get to keep the lanyard?
I literally have so many lanyards, it's horrific. Anyway, what was I? Oh, I told you guys I was like, we should do RIP because then you'll get a lanyard. And you and Brooke were like, for $500? I'm like, yeah, you'll get a lanyard. What do you mean? That's the selling point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really cool things. So this is something that like I already.
Oh my gosh.
What?
You still haven't answered.
I didn't hear what you said then.
Do you get to keep the lanyard?
Oh, I thought you said you get to keep the lanyards. I thought you were saying, oh, yes, you get to keep them. I thought you were saying that as like a statement of fact of like, you get to keep the lanyards.
Okay. So the answer
yes,
is yes.
You get.
They give you special lanyards and you get to keep it. Okay, continue.
Yes, that's why I said I have a bunch of lanyards. Yes, I thought you were literally stating that. I'm like, we've already talked about this, Haley. I'm not going to bring up a lanyard. You don't get to keep it. That's not fun. You can steal the audio device too. They'll probably charge you and ban you from the park, but don't do it. I can't promise what's going to happen if you do. So anyway, okay, cool things about the houses.
Yeah.
So have I answered all your questions now?
Yeah.
Nothing.
For the moment.
Okay. So really cool thing. So this is a pretty well-known thing. If you follow Halloween Horror Nights, it's just cool because you get to see it up front, close, personal. You get time to stand in the rooms to see it. Each year, the houses have code words.
Yeah.
So 23 was pies, and those were pretty easy to spot in those houses, I think. Like one was in Slaughter Cinema 2, it was like right when you walked in, there's a pie on the table. So they hide the props or like the whatever the names were. Like you found a pie in each house and it was the code name for that. 24.
I have a question. Yes. I'm so sorry. When you say code words, do you mean code words for each individual house, or
yes,
when they're like talking about Halloween Horror Nights 35 in general, the code word is pie.
So the team members have code words because it's before they release the houses, they can't use their names.
Okay, so it's not like the lizard that was in all of the random houses last year.
Yes. It is.
I'm so confused.
I'm not okay. All of before they announce everything, they all have okay. All right, let me back this up. Let me back this bitch up a little. Okay. So one thing we learned, and I kind of knew this, it makes sense. Right now, we're in April of 26. They already have 27 planned.
Yes.
HHN 27 or HHN 36 for 2027 planned.
Yes.
They're planning a full year in advance. They don't even have 26 houses announced. So everything's code word. So they pick a theme each year.
Okay.
Are we following?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of the facts I was going to talk about. Is like they really hammered that home that like they're already thinking about next year. Like this year has like not even like we've gotten one house announcement, and we knew it was coming. Like let's be real, we've all known for
scare zone and scare actors and
we all knew this was coming. But so they have to have code names because they don't want it leaking as best as possible. So in 25, all of the houses were like, one was like cherry pie. I think that was actually Slaughterhouse Cinema.
That was my question.
Okay.
Okay, so it's an overarching theme, but then each of them have individual code names within that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Okay. And I was gonna get there, I think, and mention it because I can't remember all the individual ones. But yeah, so like cherry pie, apple pie, what's
Got
another
it.
pumpkin pie. And 25 or 24, it was flowers. So they had like irises, daisy, lilac, hydrangea. I don't know, I'm just listening to flowers. I can't remember. And what they do that's really cool is they try to tie it into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like they try to relate whatever it is into the house. So like um when last year it was lizards. I know you just mentioned that. So it was however they could tie like a certain type of lizard into the story of that house. That's how they picked that lizard name.
Huh.
So that's also part of like the spec map kind of thing that ties into the actual event is it's like people like, okay, so if it's a bearded dragon, that obviously means I don't know, I can't even. But yeah, like it's one of those where it's like it does tie into like it's so abstract sometimes, and then other times you're like, once you hear it, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But like I never would have like made that connection. So that was a really cool thing. All three of the houses we went into, don't ask me which lizard was in which house, but we found them, we talked about it. So that's a really cool thing because you're in those rooms, as you know, it's a conga line, you're in and out, it's flashing.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see it with all of the lights on in Grave of Flesh. I couldn't even find the one. It was like behind some ivy. Like it was all the way up here and it just was so hard to find. So like, it's some of them are really obvious. Like I said, I saw a pie right when I walked into Slaughterhouse Cinema the one year, but lizards are hard to find. They're like this tiny. I think in Hatchet and Chains it was in like the fifth or sixth room you walk through, like on some barrels. Like it's
Yeah.
but
And when you're like trying to fight for your life and not scream and
see
cry.
everything and it gets tricky. So that was a really cool thing that like I already knew about, but then like getting to see them and like explained and like this is the specific one, this is how it ties to that house. That was really cool. Okay, that was the one big thing. I already talked about that. Um, some other cool things that they kind of talked about, like just very generic things, was so again, I love the props, I love the set design, that is like my jam. They call where the prop storage is the morgue. Love it. It's great, phenomenal, on theme, perfect. And it is cool when you go year to year, you'll recognize like you can see kind of how they've reused it or like how are they going to reuse it like the next year because they're not creatives, don't like to throw stuff away.
No.
They're hoarders. Yeah, you can reuse it somehow. So that was a cool thing. Mostly in Hatchet and Chains, they had like old timey pictures, and a lot of it was like the creative team. It's only like 6 or 7 people. It's like a really, really, really small team. So they had like their pictures in there. And one of the logs, I don't know why, but that house just stood out to me. There was just so much packed into that house that it was so good. So that one I think they had nods to like previous icons and like the logbook when you first walk in because it's like a train station kind of deal. So they had that. In Dolls Let's Play Dead, we were in one of the rooms and our tour guide was talking and I was like, are those Jack sheets on the bed? And he's like, yeah, good catch. And I'm like, thank you. So Jack's the icon that he was a previous icon of years past. He's going to be in
Right.
HHN 35, him and Dr. Avo. I'm not going to go on a tangent.
I wonder if they did that as a nod to previous years or if it was a hint for this year or
both for sure. Because they knew that was
well, yeah, because they knew what it was this year. That's why I'm asking that now. Like you mentioned it here during our rankings.
Yep.
And I went, oh, that's nice that it was a nod to the previous year.
Yeah, no, I knew it was coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why. So they had the Dr. Oddfellow scare zone 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the doctor. He had 2 scare zones technically. I'm not going to get into it because that's not what this episode's about. But I knew it was coming because they've done stuff every year leading up to their returns essentially. I mean, Dr. Alpha has kind of been there, but like Jack's return. Anyway, so they'll do that kind of fun stuff where like if you're really big fan of the event, they'll have, you get to find those cool Easter eggs. You get to find the stuff as a nod to years past. You get to find stuff to future years, like Hatchet and Chains. That one's cool because Slaughterhouse Cinema, the one I keep referencing, they had posters lining the walls and it was like snippets of different movies. Hatchet and Chains was one of those. So like they saw that I guess got the best feedback, or that they already had a storyline in mind. So then that became a house for the following 2 years.
No, following year, because I did Slaughterhouse Cinema.
Okay.
That was the one where the guy spewed the beer straight on me the first second that we walked in.
So then was it Flowers in 23 then? Maybe it was Flowers in 23 and Pies last year.
Year before.
I
Yeah, 24.
Whatever. I don't know. All the years just.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because that was the year we were sick. Okay, I like blacked out that year. Fun fact, 26 is all vehicles. So like hearse. I don't know. That's the only one I know of. They have one that's like a hearse. They have another one I think is like probably like like a buggy, Volkswagen buggy. I don't know. But I know a hearse is one because like obviously. So yeah, it was flowers, pies, lizards. Anyway, doesn't matter. I know, I was so confident because I was like, Hayley didn't go in 24. Yes, you did.
I did go in 24.
You did go in 24. I was not pregnant. I was pregnant in 23, not in 24. It all blends together. So anyway, so that's really cool is that they pull from, oh yeah, because the mummy strippers. You did see that because I kept talking about that. Anyway. I wish they would have done a mommy stripper house. It's fine. You can always do it this year.
I don't think that's coming this year.
It's fine. So one other really cool thing with the prop team is they have one singular week to get the props in there.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep.
So
it's not this. Okay, so remove the set from your mind. So set is already up, but any props, they have one singular week for 7 people to get all of that in.
Okay, so when you say props versus set, set is the actual maze.
Like the construction, what's built, what's sturdy, staying.
Okay. So props is not necessarily things that the actors are holding, but it's also like there's a baby carriage over here. Even if it doesn't move around, it's a prop.
Yes. Barrels, the crowns that are in the doll's house, anything that's hanging from the walls, anything that's hanging from the like the ceiling, doorways, anything like that. 1 week of team of 7 people. I know.
They don't bring anyone else in to help?
Nope.
That's like
insane.
Working flat out the entire week.
Yeah.
That
that
morgue has to be the most organized, color-coded, labeled thing in the world.
Like, I'm like, that's why I want to work there. But yeah, and I think he said
museum experience. That would help.
Like, can we do that? Oh, that should be their other behind the scenes tour, is touring that.
Oh my God. Too many people would try to touch things and take them.
Yeah, people would ruin it quick.
Yeah.
Rude.
And it might be property, quite honestly.
Yeah, and so the other thing, okay, so that's the other cool thing, and we got little tidbits about the IPs too when we were there. So that's the other difference between doing the 3 house tour, which is all originals, and then the 6 house with IPs mixed in.
Yeah.
Originals, you can pretty much take pictures of like anything.
That makes sense.
They have usually like the big scares. So like in Dolls, there was a rat that like jumps out at you. That's like their big like engineering one, so that we could take pictures or videos in that room, just to limit. They don't say that in that room, cameras down, put them in. Like I just put mine in my pocket because I'm like I don't want to accidentally like go to do it out of habit, not because I'm disregarding, but I just don't want to like. I don't want there to be any questions.
Yeah, you're just usual. You're used to it. Like I want to see everything and remember.
Exactly. Hatchet and Chains was there was like a big like demon horse or demon at the end. I think it was a demon. It like rams forward. It was cool because we could kind of see some of the again engineering behind it. And then Grave, I think there was one. I can't remember in that one.
I think that came in like right at the beginning, I think, or right at the end.
So the beginning was the Grave when you walk in and they have like the drip line that we could do because you're looking up out of a grave. I can't remember. I don't know if you're not supposed to take videos or not. He let us, so I have videos. So I'm gonna go back and watch them and like because I got snippets of him talking, obviously. But yeah, it was just so much information. There's so many things that I'm like, what was that? Like they had like names for the scares.
Yeah.
One was called a Daisy Scare. That was the name of it. Daisy Scare. Where they're like here and they'll like jump out and scare you, but then they have like you walk around something and then they pop out here. So it's like a twofer
That's what
and they
I'm
can
saying, that it's like there it's all a lot more interconnected in the main. Like there's fewer scare actors than we think there are
there's
when we're
I
walking through it,
I think there's 10 scare actors per house.
which is just insane.
I know.
And it makes sense when you say that, why, like, at some points we might just miss a scare actor, and it's probably because they're over in a
Mhm.
different spot getting someone else.
Yep.
And
They have a huge area of coverage they have to get. And that was the other thing,
I need to see.
specifically in Grave, because that was an actual sound stage. So
Mhm.
there's multiple houses running in there, but you're not hearing it because everything that's happening in the house, the maze that you're in, is so loud. But we got to see behind the screams of like the fog effects, the smells that they pump in, like the different names for them. They have like where the scare actors go in, like their character's name, like where they can walk in and out of the tents and everything. Like we got to see that, which was a really cool part of it. Because like the spring tents are cool, but they're very like you pretty much see everything. Whereas the sound stages, there's so much extra back hidden
Yeah,
stuff that you don't see. Which again is in the spring tents, but it's just not as like big.
yeah, they're
But
that's just cool. And that make so if you scream or get a really good reaction at one of the early actors, chances are they're probably going to get you again.
yes, exactly. And so that's like that Daisy scare. Like that's the point of it, is if they don't get you, they're going to get you on the other side, because you're not going to know that they're going to pop out again, like right when you walk in front of them or like walk next to them. You don't know that's coming. Um, so yeah, so that's really cool. There's like other effects that like are named after like the prop team and like the design team, which is really cool. Like it's something they came up with, and I could, again, could get into like really deep detail, and I won't do that. But it's, and again, it varies from house to house. It just every year they're coming up with new stuff, or they take a scare and they, or a prop or something, or a special effect, and then they change it for what they need for that house. Oh, and to what I was saying too about IPs. So in the originals, you really aren't going to take a lot of, like, you can pretty much take pictures and videos of like everything. Like I said, usually like one room. I say no, IPs are a lot more strict. I think they say like half the house you can't take videos of. I know Five Nights at Freddy's, it was like two rooms you could take pictures of, because they were so strict and tight with that IP.
Yeah.
And I know Jim Henson's studio actually did all of the animatronics. Like they spent a crap ton of money on getting those. Um, which was like disappointing for me, because I know that was one of like, that was our, I think it was our least favorite or like second least favorite. It
Yeah.
just, but you and I aren't fans of the franchise. We're not fans of the game. We're not,
Yeah.
that's not
And
our
we're fans
jam.
of everything being animatronic.
Yeah, and it just wasn't like scary, but it was fun. It's like Terrifier wasn't really scary. It was just more fun. So it was like,
Terrifier was a little scary. Um,
eh,
I would more compare it to Ghostbusters.
yes.
Like fun for people who like the franchise, but like otherwise, meh.
Yeah. 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 I think that's probably, yeah. So, but like that one, you couldn't really take pictures of anything. Obviously, they were strict with what you like. Obviously, you're not supposed to touch anything. So that's another thing that they tell you on the tour, is everything's sprayed with some kind of chemical to help it last throughout the season. And obviously, you do have to like replace stuff and whatever. But like he was very like clear, like before we even went into a house, he's like, do not touch anything. Don't touch anything. It's all sprayed with chemicals. Like it's all treated. You're gonna get it on your hands. You're gonna get it everywhere. It's gonna stain your clothes. Like just don't. I can't help you if you touch it. Yeah. Obviously you're not gonna get hurt from it, but like it's gonna be a major inconvenience, and you probably won't be able to finish the tour. But obviously in like Five Nights at Freddy's, they were way more strict with what you could and couldn't touch, because like that's, you're talking like probably, I think they spent over $1 million on those animatronics for sure.
And if
So,
someone just touches the wrong thing,
yep.
the house is down.
Which is really, really, really rare for a house to be closed. Or they just, usually what they'll do is they'll try to do that. They'll just, that there just won't be something there. They'll keep the rest of the house running. But now you've put them out of how much money?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person. But yeah, it was, I don't know. I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you're not sure about Halloween Horror Nights or you're really into it, I just think it's a really cool look behind the curtain. And it's just, like I said, I now every year from now, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
It was just so worth it.
So for people who, so it takes place in the mornings or daytime tours of most nights that the actual or most days that Halloween Horror Nights is actually running at night.
Yep.
Good for amazing fans of Halloween Horror Nights if you just want to see all the behind the scenes, and then if you're a scaredy cat and you just want to see what Halloween Horror Nights would be like and you want to test yourself on it, or if you're a theater nerd or a prop nerd or something and you want to see it and you couldn't give two farts about Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep. There, I will say there was 2 kids on our tour. 1 or 2 kids, I can't remember. Like,
yeah,
maybe around 10. And they were fine. They were great. They were quiet. They would ask questions. And I think the one kid actually does Halloween Horror Nights. I think he was a little older than 10. I think he may have been like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But one of the other kids was like 10. And they were both like really well behaved. Like I said, the older one asked questions. It was pretty cool. I think that's a good experience for kids. Because again, there's nothing scary. I mean, like the props and stuff are there, but there's nothing jumping out. There's no sounds. There's no noise. The lights are on, except for there was one room in Grave of Flesh that was completely pitch black, where we had to all turn our camera, or like our flashes on.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that was where all the organs and entrails were hanging.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that, but yeah. So it's a good like stepping stone if you're interested in prop design, set design, or Halloween Horror Nights, or you're really into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else left to add?
I could keep talking, so no.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments if you have done the behind the screams tours. And you
have any questions?
Yeah, if you've got any questions, if you want to tell us how much you loved it, or if you didn't like it, tell us that too.
Shut your trap. No.
Don't think that's possible, but off chance, whatever. And we will see you guys on our next episode.
Yeah.